Niners have dethroned the Super Bowl champions. Let's go! Eric Kendricks, you are my hero. Unbelievable. With the game on the line, 4th down and 11, Eric Kendricks, the guy that just came up a couple weeks ago, the 49ers just signed him because of all the linebacker injuries. No Fred Warner, no D Winters, no Tatum Bethune. The Niners were playing linebackers they didn't have at the beginning of the season in this game. And Eric Kendricks, Vikings legend, seals it for the Niners to advance to the NFC divisional round against the Seahawks. The Niners were not one and done in the playoffs, baby. The Niners are still alive. They're still kicking 23-19, everybody. Probably one of the craziest wild card games the Niners have played in a long time. And to do it in that fashion, this 49ers defense that is so depleted, made the Eagles punt 7 times in this game. The 49ers offense stalling the entire game outside of the first drive and then finally stepping up, making a statement. Brock Purdy throwing two interceptions in this game, choking it for the Niners, making the Niners, it would look like they were going to lose. And Brock Purdy, he was going to be at fault. That wasn't the case. When it mattered most, Brock Purdy stood up. He stood up to the task. He sent this 49ers team down the field and won the game for them. And it wouldn't have been done if it wasn't for Jawan Jennings as well, guys. If that wouldn't have happened, the Jawan Jennings roundabout throw for a touchdown to Christian McCaffrey to finally put the 49ers on the board again to make it 14-17 or something like that at that point. Unbelievable team game for the 49ers. Unbelievable just upset of the Eagles. And I'm in shock right now. My face is literally red because I was like scratching my whole entire face, hoping the Niners are going to win this thing, expecting the Niners to lose. The Eagles going down the field this last drive with 2 minutes left in the game. Pass intended for Dallas Goedert and Eric Kendricks, making the play of the season, making the play of the year for the 49ers. And the 49ers are alive, they're still alive. They're still kicking. And George Kittle, when he went down and was at the third quarter, when he went down, all hope was lost. A torn Achilles. It's already confirmed that he has a torn Achilles. And at that point, you're just thinking, man, are the 49ers even going to be able to come up after this injury? Jair Brown went out of the rest of the game with a hamstring injury. And you know what? Guys stepped up to the task. Guys were alive. Guys made the plays. Rich is up in here. Siegel came in for Tig and killed it. Dude, Siegel's a stud, man. He could tackle really well. Not the greatest in coverage and everything, but he stepped up to the task, and he was great. But who wasn't great for 90% of this game? Brock Purdy. Here's his stats. 18 for 31, 262 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And he had the touchdown when it mattered most for the Niners. But those 2 interceptions really bad. The last one was to Tonjes. The one beforehand, I can't remember who. I think it was intended for Sky Moore. And just really dumb decisions. The first one, it was just total Jimmy G throwing off his back foot, just kind of hoping, throwing and praying, seeing what was going to happen. And just doing that 2 times in this game when the 49ers, Brock had a Jimmy G game. Dude, he did, man. He did. He had a Jimmy G game, but he did lead the Niners to win at the end of it. And that's what matters most. I was getting ready to completely slam Brock Purdy in this game. At the end of this game, I thought the Niners were going to lose. I thought, man, Brock Purdy, why are we paying this man $53 million? He's a fantastic quarterback, but he's not elite. He's not clutch when it matters most. But he got the job done. But it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Jawan Jennings, if it wasn't for Shanahan dialing up that play call for the 49ers. Rich, we try to get you in here, man. Let me send you the link to you. I want to hear your thoughts too. See if I can figure out this thing. But man, that game took years off of my life. That was unbelievable. I can't believe that even happened. I can't believe we're still talking about the Niners in the playoffs right now. Because the way they were playing for 90% of the game, this offense at least, it was over. It was over for them. But the Niners held on. Robert Saleh man, that guy's going to be a head coach somewhere next year because the way, I don't know, the way he inspires this defense, I guess, it's inspiring to me because let me count how many times the 49ers defense made the Eagles punt. At the beginning of the game, they scored a touchdown the first drive. After that, we had on the second drive for the Eagles, it was 4th and 2, Upton Stout, pass breakup, unbelievable by Upton Stout, having a phenomenal year. Defense, they go on to score a touchdown on the third drive. After that, it was pretty quiet on their 4th offensive drive for the Eagles. It was a punt. 49ers couldn't do anything about it. It was a 3-and-out for the Niners. Fifth offensive drive for the Eagles. It was a punt. That's 2 in a row. 49ers couldn't do anything about it. That's when Purdy threw the interception intended for Sky Moore, Quinion Mitchell on that play. And then what happens to the defense? The defense responds by making the Eagles punt. The 49ers then get the ball again. It was a 3-and-out. The 49ers had to punt. Then after that, the 49ers only allowed a field goal for the Eagles. And then what happens then? Finally in the fourth quarter, we get Kyle Shanahan dialing something up. The Niners offense has been stalling all game long. It's looking like the Seahawks out here. And then we get the Jawan Jennings, reverse roundabout throw. Phenomenal throw, by the way. Phenomenal throw by Jawan Jennings. And even better basket grab catch by Christian McCaffrey. I mean, it was perfect. And it was reminiscent to that Super Bowl play that they did 2 years ago. Unbelievable. That's really what got the 49ers back in this game and putting them back up 17-16. And it came down, like we said, always field goals, extra points, special teams unit. For the longest time, the Eagles missing that extra point earlier in the game was detrimental to this team. And it was for the longest time. But after the 49ers scored, the defense gets another punt on the Eagles. And then the 49ers try to respond again. Purdy throws his second pick of the game. Just a bad pass to Jake Tonjes. And then the 49ers defense, once again, this defense that has 6th and 7th and 8th string linebackers in this game, only give up field goal, making it 19-17. The Eagles are up. But then after that, what happens? Finally, Brock Purdy comes in the clutch. Finally, he shows up to play some football since the first drive of the game. He leads the Niners down. The Niners get down inside the 5-yard line, and we get the touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey. Eddie P missing the extra point was kind of scary, kind of terrifying. It didn't matter because you know what? The 49ers defense had one more stop in them. They had the one more stop. Rich in the house. How are you feeling, dude? How are you feeling about this win?
Ecstatic. They gritted this game out. It was rough the whole game. And I'll tell you, Eric Kendricks, man, he stood out.
Dog.
He was everywhere, dude. That's the best linebacker play, minus Fred, that we've had all season.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he was everywhere. He was just knocking out fools. It was so great. And Wallow actually had a good game too.
He did.
He was where he was supposed to be. He made a lot of tackles. He saved that first down at the one point, and I think he was the one who grabbed Saquon's ankle when he came around that side and was about to grab that. We don't know what he would have gotten that play in the backfield. It was pretty damn good. I don't know, man. Offense was opportunistic, not great. Kyle kept trying to run up the middle. I don't know why. He just kept trying to go up the gut, and he just, they just didn't have it, man. And
I mean, it's my mind is going crazy right now. The whole game. Oh, me too. My heart was pounding the entire time. My dad was like grasping on right here. I'm like, "Are you good?" He's like, "I'm good. I'm not having a heart attack." I'm like, "Thank goodness." But I felt like I was having one. But for the whole chunk of the game, the run game was nowhere. This last drive, this offensive line were finally driving guys back 3 yards and actually giving Christian McCaffrey some space to run. I don't know.
I think getting that final stop.
Yeah.
And they gave up the field goal, and I think they just looked at him and said, "Guys, this is it.
Yeah,
this is the season. This is now. Let's make it." And they went, and it was so good because you could just tell they were different. They were just different after that play.
It's it's just the entire season. It's the epitome of the entire season, grinding out games. The man stepping up for the next guy. Jake Tonjes coming in here with a couple big catches, I feel like. And just the linebackers, I'm shocked how well they play. This is the big difference between last week against the Seahawks and this week. The Niners were actually able to wrap guys up. They weren't just trying to hit guys. They weren't missing tackles. Last week they had 18 missed tackles. This week, I mean, I could barely see any missed tackles. They were being.
I think Mustafa missed a couple, but that was really it. It wasn't anything like
egregious. Brown had one too, but I mean, compared to last week, this defense stepped up when they needed it most.
Siegel came in cold after Tig went out with the hammy, and he played his ass off.
Yeah.
He really did, man. He was all over and you could tell he was playing at like a different speed than all the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
You could just see him and Mustafa were everywhere, and Kendricks. I can't say Kendricks' name enough times to explain how well he and how much of an impact he made on that game.
Mm-hmm.
He on defense, he was crazy. He was just everywhere. We had zero pass rush. I mean, there was zero pass rush.
They didn't touch Jalen Hurts once. I think
Keon White on that one play. Keon White on that one play, and that was it.
Was it a sack? I
Yeah,
can't remember. It was a sack.
Yeah, he ran back and he tried to come up, and Keon broke free of his guy and sacked him. Otherwise, he would have probably ran for 10 to 12 yards.
Yeah.
It was like second to the last drive, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think it really helped too a little bit at the end of the game when Barkley kind of went down with that ankle injury. You know, they're running through us like the past 3 weeks, guys have been. Charbonnet, K9, DeAndre Swift, and Manungai. That was the secret sauce. And then for whatever reason, I feel like it was later in the second quarter, third quarter, the Eagles are trying to take some big shots down the field. And I'm thinking, what are you guys doing? Just run the ball, run the clock down. They're not going to stop the run. And the Niners were opportunistic. It didn't work out for a lot of it for the Niners offensively, but I'm just so impressed with how this defense was able to hold up. And even last week against the Seahawks, the way they only gave up 13 points to the Seahawks and they looked like they were crap. I can't believe that just able to do it 2 weeks in a row.
It was so funny. I called this game 24-17 Niners.
Really? I called it 24-20, I think.
And I was like, holy crap. I was like, man, I was pretty damn close. Cause I was like, cause I was, but I really thought that they were going to need Pearsall to win this game.
Yeah.
And when he didn't suit up, I figured, because I basically said, if with Pearsall, we're 24-17, no Pearsall, we probably lose like 17-13.
Yeah. And their cornerbacks, Cooper DeJean, Quinshawn Mitchell, they're good. They're really good. I think Mitchell had both of the interceptions in this game. I think he did. He had any this whole season, but he had a lot of pass breakups. But yeah, he finally came up in the clutch for the Eagles for most of it. But
both those plays were late throws by Brock. Brock's got to know late in the down, he should just take the sack.
Yeah, well, I mean that first one was I think just a stupid pass. I think he had Jennings in the middle of the field, and then I think he was just panicking and trying to force it. But why are you trying to force it to Sky Moore? If you're going to try to force the ball, force it to Juwan Jennings. I don't want you to force it at all, but if you're going to, force a big guy.
And message to Kyle: no more of these jet sweeps to Sky Moore this year. Oh my gosh,
it doesn't work.
You know what? It isn't so much. He's not a. The thing that made Debo so good at that is he broke tackles. Yeah. Sky Moore, you hit him with your arm and he falls down.
He's going to fly back 2 yards. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw it when he went around, he went to cut back in and a guy hit him with his arm and he just fell down. And I was like,
that's not going to work, man.
I was like, dude, that is terrible. That is terrible. I was like, Sky Moore needs to not do that again.
What about Demarcus Robinson's legacy game? He was like Juwan Jennings in the Super Bowl, I feel like. He was the leading receiver, 6 receptions, 111 yards, had the touchdown at the beginning of the game. That guy showed up to play. He's big time in the playoffs. Like when he was with the Rams, he was nowhere, non-existent in the regular season, and he showed up when it mattered most.
That's what I expected from him during the regular season.
Me too.
And we never saw it all year. And then and it was funny, right before the game, when I saw Pearsall wasn't playing, I was like, we need a big game from D-Rob.
Yeah.
We need a big game from him, and it was really cool that he came through like that. I mean, he's a matchup problem because of his size and his length. His arms are super long and he's tall, man. So I mean, even if the ball's kind of off, the defenders can't get in front of him because he's just so big and lengthy. And he showed it all off today. It was really good. It was an impressive game. Yeah. I mean, JJ had a good game. He had a good game. Even Tonjes. Because the play that PI was against him. Yeah. That PI was him. So he's making an effect. They were actually thinking about him in the game. And when he broke free, they grabbed him and held him up. So it was definitely cool to, have his presence felt, even though he didn't, obviously didn't have a bunch of plays in the game.
Yeah. What were your thoughts going down into the end of the second quarter? That whole just terrible game management with the Niners had 1 minute left in the game. I think they had to call a timeout because Kendrick Bourne wasn't set. And then right after that, I think that was the big Jake Tonjes catch for the first down. And then the Niners didn't call a timeout. because I think they had one left. Or no, they didn't have they didn't spike the ball is what it was. So running off
No.
25 seconds, and then after that, Purdy scrambling for his life, staying in bounds, just get out of bounds,
And then fumbled, and then fumbled,
and
and
then
then
the
fumbled.
fumble,
It
and
was
that
like,
ended it.
dude.
And it was 13-10 at that point. I thought that was the end of the Niners not getting the
Yeah.
3 points before the half.
We blew the timeout because KB didn't line up right. So because the clock was running out, so they called the timeout. We lose the timeout. We needed it. And we don't really have a quick 2-minute offense anyway.
Yeah.
So when you're screwing it up, you needed the timeout. They needed the timeout because I think they could have at least got a field goal out of that.
Yeah.
And especially since we knew we weren't getting the ball at the beginning of the second half, we needed some points.
Yeah.
We needed some points. I was pretty nervous at that spot.
Yeah. I mean, because it was the Jake Tonjes first down. I think there was about 30 seconds left on the clock too. How come you don't spike the ball there? I don't know, you're at like the 45-yard line. And then I think there was only about.
Kyle doesn't have a hurry up offense, man.
Yeah.
Think about it. We haven't run any hurry up at all this year except for when Mac was playing.
That
was the only time this whole year we've ran hurry up.
I wonder why, though, because you think Brock Purdy and that whole starting offense should be able to do it. You know who does have a good 2-minute offense? I don't know if you've seen the Bears. It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Every single time they were playing hurry up, they'd literally get to the line. After the play, they'd all just line up in one spot, and then they snap the ball again. They weren't discombobulated or anything.
No, they knew what was going on. Johnson's definitely got that team prepared.
Yeah,
but look, how long you been around this team? Kyle does not run 2-minute offense. Usually, if there's a minute and a half, he kills the clock and goes into half, especially if he knows he's getting the ball at the beginning of the second half. He won't push the ball and try to get points. He's worried about a turnover and then having them get a possession. He plays the possession game.
That's true. I think that was the same drive. I think Kittle tore his Achilles too.
Oh man, you could see his sock ripple.
Yeah,
you could see his sock ripple when it tore, man.
That made me sick seeing that.
I've torn an Achilles. I know what it feels like. I just saw him and I went, oh no. I was like, no. I'm like, please let that just be a twisted ankle. Please let that be a twisted ankle.
He got concussed at first because he was laying there. And then
no, he was reaching down. He was reaching down at his ankle, and it was like, and he was reaching the back of his ankle. It wasn't like he was trying to grab the side.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, dude, and like I said, you could see his sock kind of rippled like this.
Yeah, you see
it was
like a little pop. Yeah,
it was like, ooh, and it went up. He had like a lump right in the middle of his sock, right behind the back of his leg, and I was like, oh, that's an Achilles.
Disgusting.
I know what that looks like.
That's another point of the game where I thought, it was over. That was before. So that was actually before that. That was the drive right before that terrible clock management. But yeah, I thought it was over at that point too. And then I just can't get over though how this defense. I said they had like they made the Eagles punt 5 times in this game, something like that. Unbelievable.
Like I said, some of the Eagles' problems were self-induced, but the defense stepped up big time. Like I said, Wallow and Kendricks and Siegel all played above their heads.
100%.
All those guys, and I shouldn't even say that because Kendricks is actually a good player.
He just hasn't played in a while.
Yeah, he's just and it was just like, man, I don't know, it was impressive. It was impressive. Like I said, that dude, everywhere you looked, his number was on the screen. It was great.
Yeah, Diamador Lenore had a couple good plays in the game. I know he had a tackle for loss in one. The AJ Brown drop though, I don't know. Did you see Demo got toasted? He got toasted at the line.
And he dropped the ball. And I don't know if you saw him. He was fighting with Sirianni half the game.
Yeah.
And just jawing at everybody the whole game. It was like, dude, get your head in the game. Because I'll tell you right now, if that guy was on my team and he dropped that ball after he was talking a bunch of smack the whole time during a game, I would have been like, dude, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth and play some football. It was horrible. It was that was a rough watch.
Yeah. The Niners
good for us,
breaks there. Good for us. Helped us out a little bit. Yeah, I was surprised because going into the game, I don't know if you saw the referee was like a lifetime Eagles fan or something growing up, and the Eagles are 8-1 going into this game with him reffing, and I'm like, this is not going to be good. The Niners had maybe 2 penalties in this entire game. The Eagles had 5 or 6, I think.
The worst call of the game was that slide. That Hurts did.
That was dumb.
And he slid right under the guys, and Farrell went over the top. I was like, come on, man.
It wasn't a big hit. Yeah, it was a late slide.
No, but it was a late slide, and the guys were already in motion. It wasn't like they were they came in late. That was the worst call of the game.
Yeah,
and the yardage because personal foul.
15 yards. That was crucial. A crucial moment of the game too. It was fourth quarter, I think.
Yeah, and I think they got points off that. So think about like that's great. I think they got a field goal there.
What were your thoughts? So the Niners score the touchdown in the fourth quarter. To start the fourth quarter, it was the Jawan Jennings to Christian McCaffrey touchdown. It was like the same play from the Super Bowl. That's really what got the 49ers back in this game. If it wasn't for that, the Niners probably don't win it. Their offense probably continues to stall. But I think that was the biggest factor to switch the momentum in this game.
Yeah, great momentum swing. It was great. It was and the timing of the play was really good. That's one thing Kyle is really, really good at is knowing when to drop that trick play in the game. Because that was totally unexpected. I mean, when you saw Moore run left, I was like, what? Not again. I was like, not again. Jet sweep, you already went right. Come on. And then left, and then he just swings around, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then I thought it looked like the ball was it looked like it was gonna sail past Christian. He got underneath it and made the catch.
Phenomenal.
That was a great catch, actually.
Yeah.
Because it looked like I said, it looked like JJ sailed it.
Yeah, that was huge though. Great hands by McCaffrey. Wallow led the team with tackles today. Wow, that's a surprise.
Did he really?
Just getting some of the stats. Yeah, Wallow was great.
I haven't even had a chance to look at any of that yet.
No, me either. Let's rip off some of these stats right here. Let's go defense first, because defense was the MVP of this game. Garrett Wallow, 11 total tackles, 5 solo, and he had a pass deflection. Next up, Eric Kendricks, our 2 linebackers. Who would have thought? Our 2 linebackers. Eric Kendricks had 10 total tackles in this game, 7 solo, 2 tackles for losses, 1 pass deflection. Marquise Siegel coming late into the game had the 3rd most tackles of this game, 8 tackles in the game. Lenore also with 8. Here, let me pop these up on the screen too.
He was everywhere. Siegel was everywhere, man. He played with so much, just determination.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder now, you see how well Siegel played in this game. What would happen if you just let him ride that whole season? Like, instead of putting Brown up there again, there's going to be some growing pains. Siegel wasn't doing great, but I feel like if you had this whole season just to kind of go through it, who knows how well he would have helped this team.
And even look it up and stout. So 8 total tackles and a pass defense.
Yeah.
Another guy had a good game. I mean, and even though Tig went out early and he had 6 tackles.
Yeah, that's still impressive.
He went out early. I mean, he was in the backfield quite a bit, and he was around everybody making tackles, and it was just but he went out, I think, early second quarter it probably was.
Yeah, it was about the second quarter. We got Jair Brown, CJ West had a tackle for loss. He was showing up a little bit in this game too. Mustafa, Keon White had the sack, right? He had the 1 big QB hit. Bryce Huff, 2 tackles for losses. And then just a whole bunch of guys out there. Offensively, shoot this back up. D-Rob, like I said, 111 yards receiving. McCaffrey, 66 yards receiving. Jennings, 45. Juice, 49. They're actually using Juice quite a bit in that game.
He was in the game plan a lot because, I hadn't seen him catch that many balls in a long time.
Probably since they always use him, I feel like, in the playoffs. That's the only time they use him so much.
Because he is a mismatch problem. And with Kittle out, I think he probably felt the need to go to him a little bit more.
McCaffrey had 15 carries, 48 yards, 3.2 yards a carry. The Niners didn't use Brian Robinson once in this game on the ground. And that was the thing that really shocked me, because McCaffrey wasn't getting anywhere on the field. We're trying to run up the middle. The guy who's been the best at it this entire season for the Niners has been Brian Robinson. He's averaging 5.6 yards a carry. I just don't understand that for the Niners.
It's Kyle, man. That's Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle gets tight. Kyle gets tight and only goes with the guys he trusts.
It's stupid.
He's been like that. He's been like that the whole time he's been here.
Yeah, it's just, I don't understand. You got a perfectly capable backup running back and you don't use him. But I guess it worked out for the Niners today.
Yeah, I mean, he trusts Christian, like I said, and if he doesn't trust you, regardless of how well you are, that's just Kyle, man. I'm used to it. I just like Kyle being Kyle.
Yeah. Here's some interesting stuff here from Nick Wagner on Twitter. Chris McCaffrey had his 5th straight postseason game with 100 scrimmage yards, the longest streak by any player since Brian Westbrook had 6 straight games. He's also scored a touchdown in all 8 postseason games he's played in. That is the longest streak to begin a career in playoff history. Is that good? I feel like that's good. Yeah, I think that's
Well,
pretty good.
and there's your answer as to why the other guy
Yeah,
didn't get in the game.
that's true. See, 49ers produced the highest single game offensive success rate against the Eagles since Vic Fangio became their DC. Great game plan, great game by Kyle Shanahan. Impossible to ignore the ability to do more with less compared to what the Eagles offense has looked like all year. Yeah. Tell me, how did you feel after that first drive the 49ers had? I kind of got worried that they were going to stall after because they've had tons of those games like that where, it starts off with a great drive to begin the game. And then after that, they kind of go cold, and they did. And then Vic Fangio, Kyle Shanahan in 4 games, I think he's averaged like 12 points per game.
I feel like Kyle's fantastic on script, and he hasn't been great off script this year. That's
Mhm.
what the first 10, 15 plays of the game, and coming off the half, Kyle has been here this year.
Yeah.
Everything else, in some games, especially when they're games that are competitive, it's been tough sailing this year,
Mhm.
and it kind of showed in this. I mean, their defense, they beat up our line pretty good, consistently during the game, and like I said, we were opportunistic, and we did some good things here and there. But I mean, until the fourth quarter, we were, after the first drive, we were struggling. Even coming off the half, I mean, we were moving the ball again,
Mhm.
but then Brock would pick.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely, like I said, on script, we are solid. Just got to figure out the rest.
Yeah. Going into the divisional game too, Brock Purdy can't throw 2 interceptions. You can't do that against the Seahawks. How good that defense is as well. Brock Purdy has to be on his A+ game. He's got to be the Brock Purdy from the Bears game. He's got to be the Brock Purdy from that 7-game win streak they had going in to the end of the season. Because if he's throwing picks like that, he's having that Jimmy G game that you said earlier in the show. The 49ers are going to be done in this divisional game. How important is it for Brock Purdy to be on his game? Quite frankly.
He can't turn the ball over.
Hmm.
It's just a recipe for disaster, because it's funny. He doesn't just throw picks when you're up by 15 or something like that and you can get away with it. It's always like close game,
It's in the
or
clutch. Yeah.
or like worst chance. I think that one of them was on first down.
Hmm.
It's like, dude,
Go to
you
your
know,
check
the,
down.
look, when it could actually pull up time of possession on the game,
Let's see.
they probably had us by 10 to 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah, half it was like 38 minutes to like 20 or something like that. Let's see. ESPN doesn't have it. I don't think they do. Let's see.
Look down towards the bottom. Usually it's there. You see time possession.
Let's see. Box score recap. Probably no. Definitely box score.
Because I'm curious if the 49ers got close with the fourth quarter, because they seemed like they had the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, it feels like they definitely were. They had a couple long drives, like the Eagles are having all game long. They're not scoring plays, key plays. No, 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 no. All right. Let's see. Let's
I
see.
think first half it was like 18 minutes to 12, so out of 30, so it was 18 and 12. I think first half. I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh, that again. That's the Kyle Shanahan game plan.
Hmm.
Get time possession, get the lead, and hang on. That's how Kyle likes to play. So when somebody else does that to him, he's not. We've never been a good chase team, if you will. We're not the Bears. The Bears are a chase team. They are the comeback
Yeah,
kids.
we like to play. We have to play in front because we can't come back from multiple scores. Time of possession here 35, 39, and the 49ers had 24 minutes of time of possession. So the
Yeah,
Eagles
so there you go.
won by
So they
11
they
minutes.
yeah, but that's 2/3 of the game versus 1/3 basically. When you're talking 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So they had the ball almost 2/3 of the game. So the
Let's see.
fact that we pulled that out is pretty impressive as well. On
Mhm.
top of all of it, the fact that and when you look at how many plays did they run versus us,
Um,
does it show how many plays we ran versus what they ran? Because then
um,
you can look at efficiency too. That would be the piece is
right.
clearly.
Total net yards, total penalties, game overview. I wish ESPN should have this stuff, but I had to go to the Eagles website for the time of
Yeah.
possession. go back to ESPN. See 49ers, Eagles. Oh, maybe team stats. So Niners had 20 first downs compared to the Eagles 19. Total plays 58. Niners had 58 plays. Eagles had 72.
So that's basically the difference of 2 series.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it like that, break it down. They had 2 more series than us,
Yeah.
and we managed to, and we were in deficit of time of possession almost 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
And we were still able to win the game. That is usually not a winning formula in the NFL.
No, you
Especially
don't.
those 2 stats.
You don't win ball games by throwing 2 interceptions and losing the time of possession by 11 minutes in the game.
No, that is not. I mean, and the fact that we did it. I mean, then there's the passing yards. I mean, there's the passing yards right there. I mean, Brock did have 262 yards.
Yeah.
Or is that 282? I can't even tell.
262. Yeah. 262. So essentially, he was more efficient than Jalen Hurts, I guess.
Yep. Except for the picks. The picks, man.
Yeah.
But Barkley carried the ball a ton.
Yeah, Barkley. That was the big thing. That was the game plan. Run the ball down.
It was the right plan.
No, yeah. That's the game plan for every other team coming against us this year. And for sure the Seahawks are doing that again because the Niners can't stop it. That's just insane. Wallow 11 tackles in this game.
He played solid, man. He was so good.
And this is a big factor too, though. Actually, Eagles having 7 penalties for 48 yards. The Niners playing 1 for 15, 1 penalty for 15 yards. Playing, really good football. Just not beating themselves, not shooting themselves in the foot. Eagles, they had a lot of costly penalties that helped the Niners drive stay alive. I think there was a 3rd down. I can't remember where it was in the game, but it was a holding call on the Eagles, and it kept the drive alive for the Niners. I think they might have scored on one of those drives.
And that penalty was trash. That penalty was trash.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a stupid one.
Should have never been called.
In the red zone.
Both teams 2 for 3 in the red zone. Okay.
I think this whole entire season, both teams have been great in the red zone. So then,
I think we're like 55. I think we're 55% in the red zone. I mean, that's a big number.
Yeah. So there is a time of possession again as well. Yeah, that's probably got to go down as one of the craziest wild card games for the 49ers. Did you see the one play earlier in the game? Sky Moore muffed the kick, and I was getting flashbacks instantly to the New York Giants game in the divisional round. Kyle Williams.
Yeah, I was thinking Kyle Williams too, man. I'm like,
the season's gonna be over because of special teams once again. Sky Moore's been doing so good the entire season. Luckily nothing happened. I thought that was gonna.
And Morstead muffed a punt too, so there was another thing.
Yeah,
Morstead muffed a punt. Too.
Eagles had the ball on the Niners 45-yard line, and I think he held them to a field goal in that drive too.
Yeah, but think about it. Our whole season, we've had no problems with special teams, and in this game, we had a muffed punt.
We had
Eddie Pinero missed an extra point.
3 things,
and Sky Moore messed up. It's like, dude.
The only thing that was okay about the Eddie P thing, though, is that the Eagles still had to score a touchdown. Because we were still up by 4 points at the end of the game. Yeah, so they would have to score a touchdown anyway, but it would have kind of screwed us over because we'd have to still kick a field goal to tie it. It wouldn't be to win it. But
exactly.
It didn't come down to that.
Yeah, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Anything? I don't know if they got the press conference stuff up yet. Still might be a little too early for that.
I just saw a thing come down, and I don't know if it's on your screen where it said ESPN confirmed that Kittle's Achilles is definitely torn.
Yeah, I did get that on my phone. I'm looking for Nick Wagner. He usually has stuff after the game. We just need to watch again, but at first blush, that was a strong effort from Eric Kendricks and Garrett Wallow, considering the circumstances.
Right back.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay, sounds good. Kendricks had 10 tackles, 2 for loss, and a PBU. Wallow had 11 tackles and a PBU. And that's just the next man up mentality, like we were talking about earlier. Just the fact that 2 linebackers who weren't on our team this entire season, starting in the wild card game for the Niners, and they were our 2 best tacklers in this game. And Kendricks making the biggest play of the season for the 49ers too. Man. We do have some post-game conference stuff right here from Kyle Shanahan. Pause it for you guys. Take ESPN off the screen.
Yeah, I couldn't say enough good things about Kendricks though, man. He was everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So here's Kyle Shanahan talking about the Niners, just all season long.
Resilience and belief.
Oops.
Like this, say about the team's resilience and belief in each other.
I mean, I think it shows how they've been all year. I mean, they've been resilient all year. They've overcome a lot. They believe in each other a ton, and we knew we couldn't come in here and just win by certain guys making plays. We knew we had to come in here and win as a complete team, and I really believe we played as a complete team today, and that's why we got it done.
And that's just the story of the whole season. Next man up mentality, everybody having to make a play. This week it was Eric Kendricks and Demarcus Robinson having the game of the season for the 49ers. I don't know how much longer the Niners can keep doing it. I thought the season ended today. I thought we were stretched too thin defensively. I thought when George Kittle was out and now he's going to be out for probably for the rest of next season too, the Niners continue to overcome injuries, and it's a miracle of a season. I don't know when the train is going to end, but I think as Niner fans, we just got to take it day by day with the team and just be happy that they're in the divisional round. Brock Purdy was out for 7 games of the season. Fred Warner's probably not going to come back. We don't know. Nick Bosa's out for the season, and just everything is stacked up against the Niners. And just to be where they are right now, I'm happy with it. I'm not even expecting a Super Bowl anymore. I'm taking it one day at a time and enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just feel like right now, to me, when I, wrote down the schedule and what I thought we were going to do at the beginning of the year, it was like, okay, where are we going to be? And I figured I had us at 11-6, and and that we would probably get bounced the first round of the playoffs. So we've already exceeded my expectations for the team. Look, when we had a crack at the number 1 seed, I can't say that the expectations didn't move a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially when you've got that chance. But after that last Seahawk game, I kind of I sat back and I was like, man, I got to reflect on this a little bit.
Yeah.
Go, you know what? We're exceeding expectation. All our guys are hurt. The fact that we're here right now, I'm just gonna live it up and enjoy it. Just
be
live it up,
happy with
not be bummed out. Just say, hey, look, man, our guys are killing it.
it.
And it made it a lot more fun to actually watch this game today.
Yeah, I think it definitely. My heart was still pounding out of my chest, but I was thinking, even if we lost this game, to make it this far anyway, you just got to enjoy it. I mean, it's not like the 2023 team. It wasn't 2019, even 2021, where, I felt like we had one of the best shots to still win win a Super Bowl that year. If it wasn't for Jaquiski Tart dropping that interception, this team is like none of these teams. And they keep winning somehow. I don't know how. It just seems so magical, and it just some way it would just be the perfect storybook ending for the Niners to win a Super Bowl this year. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to be disappointed if they don't this year.
No, and it's funny because like this season, in Niner lore will probably get forgotten.
Yeah, it shouldn't though.
Because it shouldn't, you know what I mean? Because it is funny. I was going back and I was looking at some teams who I thought that didn't win it all for the Niners, but were just juggernauts.
Yeah.
And it's like this team is none of that, but they're still going. And it's a memorable team because it's the all the basically you got the medical card out for all these guys, and they're all
the 49 IRs. This is the team. This is the 49 IRs, 2025 San Francisco 49 IRs. It's gonna be memorable for me. Just everything that's happened this season. It's you can like name off every single week, like, oh yeah, this was the week Brock Purdy got injured, and then Mac Jones came in and won 6 games for the Niners, and then Brock Purdy came back and he led the team all the way to 7 games, a 7-game win streak, and then they lost. They could have got the 1 seed. They got blanked by the Seahawks almost, and then
they were this close to the 1 seed.
This close, couldn't score a touchdown. Things didn't happen their way in that game, and then 4.5-point underdogs against the Philadelphia Eagles. They got their redemption today after that 2022 season. Purdy, it's weird. It's almost
is that
like
what the spread ended up at? I never saw what the final spread was. I saw it at 6.
At the beginning of the game, it was 4.5. Eagles 4.5-point favorites.
All right, that was reasonable.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's black magic too. It's like one person after the other just gets sacrificed for the Niners to win the game, and today it was George Kittle. It's terrible, man. It's terrible.
Well, and Tig, I mean, we don't know what he's going to do with a hamstring. I mean, obviously Siegel went in and balled out, but
yeah, It's true.
And Tom
And the
just
fact
played
that
well, but still, it's two more
the fact that
guys.
Trent Williams is able to play today after his hamstring injury, that was the Bears game. Yeah, first play of the Bears game, he was injured, and he's back in here. This
And
is
no ill
actually,
effects. He played the whole game.
and he looked great. This offensive line held up really. We got this is Diamador Lenore after the game. If it's gonna load for us, that one's not gonna load. Can we get something to load? No, now everything's not working. Here's Trent Williams.
Big fella.
Just walking by, I thought he was tearing up or something.
He looked dialed in.
Yeah, he was dialed in. Perfect time for my internet not to work. Let's see, we got another.
Like this, say about the team.
Already saw that one. How strongly would you prefer to play on Sunday rather than Saturday?
Very strongly, but yeah, I'm expecting it to be Saturday. So, but hopefully, if the NFL's cool and understanding, they'll make it Sunday.
That would be the epitome of the Niners. Let's play them Saturday. The most injured team in the NFL. Let's have them play Saturday against the Seahawks.
It's because we're the lowest seed left. I mean, you would think they would play the number 1 seed the last game of the weekend.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I would think about it, even though they're playing.
I guess maybe they're thinking about, the Seahawks are going to blow them out this time.
Oh, maybe. Maybe. And then they're going, okay, we'll run the who the Rams and Bears are going to be the other team?
Yeah, I think it's the Rams and Bears tonight. Well, who's playing tonight?
Patriots and whoever the heck they're playing.
Let's see, Patriots and it'd probably be the Chargers. Oh, that game's already going on. It's already 10 minutes into the game. It's 0-0 right now. That's going to be good. I don't know. Are you rooting for Harbaugh and the Chargers? Like AFC, if you had to choose?
Yeah, I don't know. AFC, the team I liked in the AFC this year, who I just liked because I thought they were doing a great job, lost today. So I mean, me as the Jags. That team, they were so scrappy today.
Yeah, they were.
That was a good game. And I think Liam Cohen. I think right now the two guys that did the best jobs with their teams this year was Johnson and Cohen.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Those guys just, they were so good. Actually, and I'm seeing texts right now from the thing saying we must have got scheduled for Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, they must have already announced it.
No way. Let's see if we can find this. This might be breaking news, guys. Wouldn't be good news, but
I've seen it in the red and gold chat. It's popping up on my screen as we're talking.
About, okay. Oh man, that's
Tommy's usually pretty plugged in.
Yeah. Unless he's just saying that because Tommy can also be like that too.
Yeah, but he's usually pretty plugged in. I know he's a mod on one of the Niner content creator pages for Jesse Naylor, and so nice. he's usually pretty plugged in.
Yeah. Yeah, that would suck if they played Saturday night, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, Ben Johnson and Liam Cohen getting the most out of their quarterbacks too. I thought Trevor Lawrence was a bust. Not a bust, but I think, he was the number 1 overall pick and you expected him to be like an elite quarterback. He played a great game until that pick. And it was just, I think, good coverage overall because it was tipped by the defender and then picked off. But he had a great season. And I think his career kind of got resurrected from Liam Cohen a bit.
His today, he looked better than I've ever seen him in his whole career. I'm not a hardcore watcher of him.
Yeah.
But the times I've seen him, I've never really been impressed with him.
Mm-hmm.
And today he looked like a real quarterback. He looked legit.
Yeah.
Now you go to the Bears, Caleb. Dude, that guy's incredible. He is the comeback kid. I'm just going to call him the comeback kid.
He is. He is.
He is so good.
I don't know if you saw this, but Ben Johnson actually showed that team the 28-3 Falcons-Patriots Super Bowl because he's got like 2 starters on his team, one that was on the Falcons team and one that was on the Patriots. And the story was, hey, the game's never over. Like, we can win games. And now I think the Bears had 7 comebacks this year. Caleb Williams, the comeback kid, you could talk about like his completion percentage all you want because he's like 50%, I think, this year, but he comes in clutch when it matters most.
Well, did you see that he gave his game ball back to Johnson in the locker room after the game too? So he got it. So Johnson gave him a game ball, And when he got up to do his speech afterwards, he goes, the only reason we're here and everything's going right now is this guy, and gave his game ball back to Johnson.
Wow. That's
And
pretty
and actually the best part is when Johnson was walking in. I love a coach who's this brash, but he
the
F the
Packers.
Packers. F the Packers.
That was
I'm
great.
like, I love a coach that is humble but at the same time brash, and he's both.
Mhm.
He's like humble brash, if that's even a term. And
No,
and
that's totally brash on the field, and then once you're in the locker room, he knows how to fire up his guys.
he's such a good coach, man. And those guys, and you can tell those guys love him. You can tell those guys love him.
Those guys. It's like Jimmy G after that 2021 playoff game. F the Packers, man. No, it was the Packers.
I mean, he's so fired up because usually the coaches are all, we're happy and we're going to move on to next week, and he's like, F the Packers.
That's so
I love a guy that's like excited. I mean, he's young. He's a young coach, but I'll tell you, I think he those two guys, him and Cohen, are the two like bright young coaches right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Niners were 4 seconds away to losing that game. They would have lost that game if the Bears had 2 more seconds on the clock, because I think they would have scored for sure. The Niners just got a little more luck on their side, but yeah, they would have completed that. It wasn't a comeback, I guess. It was just a shootout game, but this is breaking news a little bit for Matt Barrows, actually. Oh, you guys can see that. Okay. Kyle Shanahan said chances are not very high that the 49ers open Fred Warner's practice window this week. So if it wouldn't be a 21-day practice window, huh? It would just be taking him off the IR, right?
Yeah, well, no, that would take him off the IR and open his window.
Yeah.
They're not ready to do that yet.
No, it's try to win the divisional game, and if that's the case, I think they'll reevaluate for the NFC Championship game. But
yeah, if they by some miracle beat the Hawks and have to go to Levi South,
yeah,
I think Fred would want to show up for that game.
Yeah, I don't think he was at the game today. He just had a baby with his wife, so he wasn't at that. That's probably why the Niners lost. He wasn't at the Seahawks game.
Maybe.
Oh man, yeah, I was actually at the Bears game and the Seahawks game. I went back to back. Oh yeah, I told you, but that's why I was a little not active. I was kind of gone for the whole week as well. I wasn't at my house, so I just want to recap a little bit. That Bears game, craziest game I've ever experienced in my life, like in person, back to back to back to back to back. After the stop at the end of the game, I was hugging random people. It was so fun. That's the best part about live sports, being at the stadiums, is just the people, the friends you make along the way. It's cliche, it's funny, but you don't even know these people, and you're hugging them, jumping up and down. That's
had an experience together.
Yeah, it's just the experience together. That's what makes it fun, and winning and losing. Because especially that Seahawks game. Luckily, it was supposed to rain that game, so it didn't rain. So we got to just me and my dad got to be sad, but at least we were dry. That was a tough one to watch, because I was kind of reminiscing. It seemed like the 2013-2012 49ers Seahawks rivalry, where I think it was the Thanksgiving game. The Seahawks defense just outed the Niners offense with Kaepernick and Harbaugh. And it kind of seemed like that. It was just a butt whooping. The Niners just couldn't get anything going on offense. And I mean, the Seahawks did enough to win that game as well. And it was just a really, they beat you down a little bit, is what it felt like in my head, is mentally beat you down.
I was having Kyle PTSD. So
yeah.
You talk about the Atlanta and the 2 Super Bowls with us, where Kyle just mailed it in and pooped in his diaper.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I thought of that game. I got done with that game. I didn't like look at Twitter, I think, like all day on Sunday after that game. I was like, I can't.
Everything out.
I was like, I can't. I need a day to recover. I need every day to recover from this nightmare.
You're going to get everybody fire Kyle Shanahan. Brock Purdy's a terrible quarterback. Start Mac Jones. It's all going to be the stupid overreactions.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where that was such a, like I said, that was just rough after everything that led up to that game, and for the crack to go for the number 1 seed and then basically have them lay an egg.
Yeah.
It was tough. You could just tell who came to play that game and who didn't, and they just got
looked like the Seahawks
beat at all points.
Almost. Yeah.
That the score of that game was a gift, because it should have been 31-3.
That's what it felt like being there. It didn't feel like we're 10 points away from winning the game.
No, it was just an old-fashioned slobber knocker beatdown. That was a beatdown.
This is pretty cool. Eric Kendricks and his teammates celebrating. Eric Kendricks' legacy game.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. Here's
Dude
Goddard,
played his ass
the
off.
intended receiver. Hurd sees that he's trying to break in off the linebacker, and maybe if he cuts it loose a smidge quicker, but when you hold that ball, allows Kendricks to read his eyes, come right underneath it, and make the game-sealing deflection. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's so funny. So
The
I
thrill
wasn't
of it-
listening to the game feed. I wasn't listening to the TV feed. I was actually listening to the radio feed and watching the game on mute.
Yeah.
So I didn't even hear Brady during the whole game. I was like, oh yeah, Brady was calling the game. That's right.
That's
I was
funny.
listening to T-Rock and Guy. So I was like, oh, what?
Papa, Greg. Oh no, Guy.
Papa didn't come again.
Just
I
Guy.
guess after last week, he was kind of wiped out or something like that.
Has Guy been pretty good this entire season? Because I don't listen to the radio side.
He hasn't been on the whole time. But the games he has, he just doesn't have that. Papa's got like that inflection in his voice, that little bit of grittiness when he especially when he's like touchdown.
Yeah.
But Guy's a solid reporter and good. I mean, and you can't go wrong with T-Rock anyway. So he just makes it all what it is.
Right. Yeah, I love T-Rock. He's so fun.
He makes me think of like John Madden, just at a different, thing. I'm waiting for him to just go, well, you draw this and you do this.
Yeah.
Because he's so into it, and it's cool to see guys that are in his position with that much animation and just loving
You can
it.
tell he just loves football.
It ain't a job. You know what I mean? It ain't a job.
Mm-hmm. Here's Christian McCaffrey after the game. Now we're starting to get the post-game conference stuff in here.
I don't know if they're different. I do know that this team fights, man. I think this team's never out of the fight. We can have a lot of stuff happen to us throughout the year. Some unfortunate things happen to us, but we don't blink, and I think we're consistent every day. It's something that when you're on a good team and a high character team, they're the same people every single day. We might mess up, might make mistakes, some bad plays here or there, but we don't blink and keep fighting for each other.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. I mean, coming every day thinking that you're the best, even though you guys are down to your 7th and your 8th linebackers, and they just come to fight. They come to fight no matter what. They like to punch you in the mouth, and they'll get back up.
Dude, he's been an Iron Man all year. Even on Twitter today, I put a iron. It figures that Iron Man is red and gold because there he is.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, he's so good.
We find the Iron Man.
What are you skimming my Twitter?
Yeah, I want to see that.
I saw myself there. I saw my Twitter there.
I like your little Funko. Is that you on your Funko?
Yes, it was. Yeah, my fiance had my personal Funko made last year.
That's awesome.
And if you look at it close, it's got a 49er jersey on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little sweater. There's Rich, everybody. Funko version.
Yeah. That's what I look like when I wear my glasses.
That's great. I can't find it, but yeah, I definitely thought, looking back at the.
Yeah, you probably got to scroll because I retweet a lot of stuff.
Wow,
so.
yeah. Yeah, no face mask. That was crazy. No face mask on Purdy there. When does it end? Bosa, Warner, Williams, now Kittle. These quarterbacks both get paid more than $50 million a year. That's what I want to touch on a little bit. Let's say the 49ers lost this game. Brock Purdy would have had a terrible performance. He's a great quarterback. I like to say he's a great quarterback, but he's not an elite quarterback. He doesn't seem like he has the it factor to me. He did come up in the clutch at the end of the game, drove this team down. So it's a different scenario. It's a different narrative now, but he was having a terrible game in the playoffs on the road. Every single game they've won with Brock Purdy in the playoffs has been a home playoff game until today. A hostile environment. It didn't look like he was up for the task. He was making dumb mistakes. He looked like Jimmy Garoppolo out there. I mean, what would the narrative be right now if the Niners lost and Brock Purdy had 2 interceptions in the game with 1 touchdown?
Everybody would be calling for Kyle's head and for us to get rid of Brock Purdy and either start Mac Jones or something else.
Yeah.
So here, I'm gonna laugh real quick if you got a couple minutes for this. The other night I was doing my Friday night podcast that I do every Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and we were having like this Kyle Shanahan discussion,
Mhm.
and everyone's like, "Oh, well, Rich, you're the one that hates Kyle, and you want Kyle gone, and you all this stuff." And I said, "No, I want to trade Kyle." And they go, "What?" I go, "I want to trade Kyle. I don't want to just cut him." And they're like, "What?" So I said, "What if we did this?" So this was my hypothesis. What if we took and we traded Kyle to the Cincinnati Bengals for Joe Burrow? Because I think we could do that straight up.
I'd
Elevate Saleh to head coach,
Mhm.
bring in Mike McDaniel to run the offense, and we're all set. Trade Brock Purdy to whoever wants him. There's our new team.
Crazy. That's crazy.
There's our new
Everybody
team.
was like, huh?
Everyone's like, "Rich, you're crazy. You're crazy. Oh, Burrow gets hurt too much." And I'm like, dude, their offensive line makes ours look like all pros. That's how bad their line is.
O-line in the NFC.
But it was just so funny because, like, look, for me, I'm like, how many years do you get before it's done?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, this is after this going to be you're going on year 10.
Yeah.
How many years do you get to figure it out?
Mhm.
We've been to the show a couple times. We've been in the NFC Championship game many times, but we're the funny thing with us is we're either here or here. We don't have like a middle road usually.
Yeah.
We really haven't, and it's been rough. The players have been rough. We're on like our fourth or fifth quarterback since Kyle's been here.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of bad choices as far as draft picks go. Lots of guys that we drafted aren't with the team anymore. So I'm like, when do we draw the line? That was kind of where my thought process was with it. So, I'm like, well, how could we do something that actually makes sense
Mm-hmm.
and actually even sounds doable, not like pie in the sky dreaming kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, that was mine. I was like, look, I'll trade Kyle.
That's
If
funny.
I could trade.
I haven't even heard Grant Cohn say that. That's the Grant Cohn thing.
No, he has. No, he has.
Oh,
He
has
has
he?
said trade Kyle.
Okay.
But I didn't know who I'd want to trade him for, and now I
Mhm.
do.
Yeah. If the Niners
'Cause-
were to lose today.
Yeah, if that's what that would have been me. I was like, look, you're worried about Saleh leaving the building? Well, guess what? We can keep Saleh here.
Yeah. Easy
We don't even
fix.
have to interview anybody. We don't even have to interview anybody else because he'd already be the minority candidate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't have to do any Rooney Rule stuff. It's just like, hey, Bob, you're our coach now. Hey, Mike, I know it's nice in Florida. Why don't you come on back?
You can
Mr.
actually
Burrow.
call it now, Mike.
Mr. Burrow, I think Mr. Montana will let you wear 16.
Gladly.
Huh?
Gladly. We will gladly let you. Joe Montana will gladly let you.
Look,
Man.
I said it. He's the closest thing that I've seen in my life that is like Montana, like from a movement standpoint, arm. Because most people don't realize Montana was actually athletic when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you talk to your dad about young Joe Montana, like pre-85 Joe Montana, he was actually
Those
athletic.
chicken legs were moving, huh?
Yeah, because who said it first? I remember. Oh God, they interviewed somebody and they said when Joe came in, we thought he was a punter.
That's funny.
When he was drafted,
Yes, the
somebody
punter build.
they were like, he looks like a punter. And I mean, at the time, they actually had a quarterback who they liked, who Walsh liked. I mean, they had Steve DeBerg, and Walsh actually liked him. I mean,
Yeah.
Joe didn't get on the field for 2 years
Yeah, I
because
was gonna say
he
Joe
kept playing
sat
DeBerg.
behind him. People, I think, always forget. I always forget that he was a backup first.
And Steve Spurrier was there before that. So,
Mm-hmm.
when you think about the quarterbacks between Jim Plunkett, Steve Spurrier, and then Steve DeBerg, and the guys that were all kind of in there on that team before Joe took over, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Manny, will Kittle be back for the Seahawks? He's not going to be back even for next season. He blew his Achilles out.
He doesn't play next year.
Yeah, it's a 9 to 12 month recovery. He's not going to be coming back next year. And even if he did, I wouldn't want him because I think it was Aaron Rodgers came back after like 7 months recovery. He did like a crazy Achilles thing, and he just wasn't the same. Kirk Cousins after his Achilles wasn't the same. You're not the same player after like an Achilles tear or an ACL injury. But yeah, he's not going to be coming back for the Seahawks, let alone next season.
Yeah, but the recovery is totally different for an Achilles versus an ACL. ACL, they have you moving it immediately, and you're working it and you're exercising it and stuff like that. Problem is, like, say this is your foot. When they do your Achilles, they basically have your foot sit like this and they splint it like this for I think it's like 2 months.
Wow.
And so you're basically running around on one of those scooters.
Mm-hmm.
And then gradually over a period of like 2 months, they move it like 10 degrees 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees until you can finally step flat-footed again. Then you can finally start working it. So
Right.
it takes like 6 months to get flat-footed again. And then you can start exercising and doing everything else. It's such a long injury to return from. It's, I mean, I've torn mine. It was horrible.
Mhm.
It was horrible.
It's only right now, Jake Tonja's season. I wanted the double tight end set today without Ricky Pearsall in there. I thought they were going to do it, and it didn't happen. So hopefully you'll see more Jake Tonjas. He's clutch. Luke Farrell.
Excuse me one second.
Yeah. Luke Farrell had the one, I think it was a screen pass to him. Doesn't have the hands for it. The Niners signed him to block, and he's not even a great blocker for this team. Don't ever
He's
let Luke
not.
Farrell don't ever target Luke Farrell again this season. Jake Tonja season all the way. Now they're down to our last two tight. I'm sure we'll bring up like Braden Wilson or somebody, but hopefully Jake Tonja steps up for the Seattle game. Like in week 1, he got the game-winning touchdown.
He needs to play. He needs to play, and he needs to be a part of the offense.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't think Pearsall's going to play again this year. I just don't.
No,
And
unless somehow we make it to the Super Bowl. That's like 4 more weeks away to recover that knee.
we're lacking speed. We need speed.
Yeah.
You know, our guys, the defenses are all crushing down on us, and we've just got no speed at all.
Yeah.
And Ricky at least helped us keep a defense honest with his speed, and plus he was just a zone destroyer.
Yeah.
He was a zone destroyer. He always found the soft spot in the zone. Some guys like have that trait like innately. He always seems to be able to find space, and none of our other guys do, and they're all just too slow. It's because what was I joking? I think on the other podcast the other night I said we've got Ricky P and the slowpoke bunch, you know, because they all are.
And they're
they're
still
all like
winning games somehow.
Well, because you're running the plays that those guys can do.
They
Like,
know.
Dionis is strictly like a drag route guy. That's all he can do, because he can't run straight down the field, because he can run a slant route and a drag route. That's it. And it's nothing to do with him. He's just not fast.
Yeah.
And D-Rob's probably the fastest guy.
Yeah. Our only guy out there. That's actually somewhat speedy. We'll get to this last thing. Did you have surgery for your Achilles, Rich? I think the answer was yes. I think you have to if you snap it, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no?
I didn't have it. I didn't have it. What happened is the other thing with your Achilles is the tendon rides in a sheath.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a sheath. So when I did mine, I snapped the tendon. I didn't snap the sheath. So I didn't realize that I had done it, because usually when you break it, you can't pronate.
Yeah.
You can't pronate your foot. I could pronate, so I thought my foot was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on vacation from work, and what I did is I just went home, and I didn't know what I'd done. I've twisted my ankles. I've got thin ankles. I've just twisted them a million times in my life between sports and everything else. So I sat there, laid my foot flat out like this, and just had ice bags all wrapped around my ankle for swelling.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny part about it is my tendon, the 2 pieces of my tendon actually attached because I still had the sheath.
Wow. Okay.
But it's off. It's weird. So if my tendon is like this, instead of being like this, mine is like this.
It's still like that. That's how it.
It's off. It works.
Wow.
I can do like 99% of everything I'd want to do in my life. So I elected not to have the surgery, because they were going to tell me it was my right leg. So they're going to tell me I couldn't drive for 4 months and I couldn't do this. And I'm like, I got to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was funny. So I did mine in May like that. I ran a 5K in September that year. And
Wow.
I was 43 then. So that was 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago that I did it. My calf is smaller and it's all messed up, but it works.
Yeah.
And I sent you all those trampoline videos and stuff. I did a bunch of that stuff after I tore my Achilles.
Oh, that's all after. Wow.
No, most of the high flying stuff is before, but the stuff I still was able to get back to a, let's say 85% of a degree in that kind of stuff. And I'm almost 56 years old. I'm not out there running around playing sports right now. Yeah. I'm not doing any hard cutting and worried about any of that kind of stuff.
That's funny. All right, we got to cut it off there because I'm getting text messages saying I got to go for dinner right now. So thanks for joining, Rich. The Niners win 20.
Dude, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, 23-19. We're gonna have a podcast sometime this week, guys. Enjoy the victory. Have a good night, everybody. and enjoy some Sunday night football. Patriots, Chargers. Go Niners. Stay faithful, baby. Talk to you guys later.
Go faithful.
Touchdown! San Francisco!